So yes, indeed, many people are addicted to pornography. And yes, indeed, many people who regularly indulge in pornography experience challenges in real-world romantic interactions. You now understand the mechanisms behind what I'm telling you. You can even see this with video games. People will play a video game, they love it, it's super exciting to them, and then they'll keep playing and playing and playing, and either one of two things happens, typically both. First of all, I always say addiction is a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. So oftentimes what will happen is the person only has excitement and can achieve dopamine release to the same extent doing that behavior and not other behaviors. And so they start losing interest in school, they start losing interest in relationships, they start losing interest in fitness and well-being, and depletes their life. And eventually what typically happens is they will stop getting dopamine release from that activity as well, and then they drop into a pretty serious depression. And this can get very severe, and people have committed suicide from these sorts of patterns of activity.
What does pornography get you?
It brings me satisfaction. It brings me a sense of love. It kind of fulfills what a girlfriend is supposed to do, but since I can't get that, I use this.
Nope. See, here's where you're wrong. Okay? I want to change all that right now. It isn't substituting for what a girlfriend would bring you. That's a false narrative. What it does is it makes you feel like you think you would feel if you had a girlfriend. This is about you, not some external person.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that.
It makes you feel like, finally, this is what it would feel like to be loved.
And that's just literally just purely just unproductive. It's a few hours a week you could be spending on your goals. If, for example, you think right now that you've got some free time at the end of the day, the man that you want to become, your potential, that man, he's not spending that last 10, 20, 30 minutes of the day masturbating. He's spending it reading, learning, still working on maybe a new goal. Half an hour a day, 10 minutes a day, that's actually very valuable time for a young, masculine, ambitious man. How you use your time really shapes your future for the rest of your life. And so if you spend just 1 or 2 or 3 hours a week watching porn and masturbating, what it's actually showing is that you don't think you're going to have that great of a future. You're conditioning yourself to waste time on something that's, like this pleasurable thing that, just makes you feel kind of good right now, but it's not actually good for you. Instead of relentlessly working on your goals, many young men need to be hit with a little bit of reality and be told, that you could be spending a lot more of your time productively. That 1 hour of porn, that 1 hour of video games that you say is for rest, isn't actually for rest.
And pornography is disenchanting you from everything. It's making it all mechanical and ugly, and it has no romance to it. It has no dimension to it. It's almost as if the two humans involved in it, or however, are like machine parts, right? They're not human anymore. And there's no emotion involved. There's no kind of spiritual connection. It's depressing. It's really, really depressing. When I see it, I feel really sorry that I experienced this, and I feel really sorry for the people who are in that industry. I find it really, really ugly and alienating. We're very physical and we're social animals to the core. And that social animal, what makes us superior is that we connect. I can kind of look at you and I can maybe understand what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and we can have a discussion and our ideas can go back and forth and connect and go to higher levels of understanding or lower levels of disagreement. But that's what it means to be a human being. You're not this fucking AI machine. You're not a bot. You're not an algorithm. You're not a little piece of data that Mark Zuckerberg can mix with. You're a human being with a body, with physical problems, with hormones, with emotions that are coursing through you. And you have to become a physical creature, which means doing things in the world, taking action, working, building a business, doing things with your hands, exercise, meeting people. Be inside of your bodies. And when you're in pornography, you're disembodied. You're not in your body. You might be wanking off, as far as I know, probably are, but you're not really inside of your body in any meaningful way.
Let me just talk to the men in the room. Your inability to confront lust means your son's gonna have to fight that battle. Your inability to confront insecurity means your daughter's gonna have to fight that battle. Your inability to break the cycle of divorce and addiction off your family means your kids are gonna have to fight that battle. And I'm here to announce to you that it's time for you to begin to arise and fight. It's not time for us to back down. It's not time for us to walk away because of one man's passivity. It's now generations later they have been attacked. I wanna ask you, how many more generations is the enemy gonna take out in your family till you stand up and say enough is enough?